Hey everybody, welcome to Whiskey Whistle. I'm the host of the show, Mark. You're watching Whiskey Review number 212, another Glen Scotia, this time Victoriana. Glen Scotia Single Malt Whiskey, Victoriana, 51.5% ABV. And a big thank you to Hung-Sik Jung for this wonderful donation. He is a definite friend of Whiskey Whistle, a Whiskey Whistle whiskey friend. All right, let's get that poured right away. Now, to be honest, I didn't do very much research on Victoriana. 61 pounds on Master of Malt. Okay, so this is what it says here. A 2015 release from Glen Scotia's new redesigned range. Victoriana is made with whiskey drawn from casks specially selected by their master blender, finished in heavily charred oak barrels, heavily charred oak casks, and bottled at 51.5% ABV. All right, so wow, that's interesting. Now, I'm pretty sure then, if this is finished in heavily charred casks, I'm pretty sure it's going to be natural in color. It's also unchill filtered, which it says so right on the bottle. Very cool. All right, well, let's get that poured. And the one you're seeing here, well, that is the 15-year-old, so I'll set that aside. I would like to compare them at the end of this review. We'll talk about the nose. We're going to talk about the palate. We'll talk about the finish, the aftertaste, and then we'll give it the Whiskey Whistle whiskey score to Glen Scotia Victoriana. Now, if it's your first time watching Whiskey Whistle, why don't you subscribe? You can click right there, and then you'll get all the updates in your email and or in your YouTube app. You'll get that little notification. Make sure you turn the notifications on, and then every time Whiskey Whistle releases a new video, which is about 2 times, sometimes 3 times a week, you'll be notified, all right? And you'll be able to stay in tune and keep up with me. So let's get that poured now. That's 30 milliliters. Now, let's just go with about 20. I'd like to save a little bit. I'm hoping, maybe a little bit more. I'm hoping that I'll get to do a little comparison of double cask, the 15, and Victoriana. So I'll keep that aside. There we go. So, oh, color. Let's look at the color. As I forget. There it is. What do you see? Well, what I see, again, is something far beyond gold. This is into the definite amber. And boy, I'd have to say it's round about the same color as the 15-year-old. Just about a shade darker. Let me show that to you. Now, I have added a bit of water into the 15, so keep that in mind. But let me get my fingers out of the way and not drop the whiskey. There we go. Okay, there and there. All right, so that's the Victoriana. Just slightly darker, isn't it? So a deeper shade of amber. Okay, now then. Quite nice to look at. Oh, and let's have a look at the legs really quickly. 51.5% unchill filtered. I would expect the legs, oh, there go my lights. I would expect the legs to travel much more slowly. Let's have a look. Yes, those primary legs are very slow, and then followed by the secondary drizzle. And the secondary drizzle doesn't even really move down much. It's so slow. Interesting. Maybe one more look. There. Okay, so you get those primary legs right off the bat, and then look at the edge of the liquid there. and you'll see those secondary legs developing, the secondary drizzle. There it comes. All right, well, anyway, very fun to look at. I'm really enjoying that lately, and hopefully you do too. That's part of your enjoyment of whiskey, how it looks. The visual experience is so important for food, for beverages, for everything. Thank you, lights, for letting up a little bit. Okay, on to the nose. We'll have a short word from the YouTube sponsors right here. Welcome back. Glen Scotia Victoriana here on WhiskyWhistle. Let's give it a whiff. Now, being cask strength, I can definitely smell a stronger whiskey content. I'm also smelling something kind of like something not unlike something like a Calvados coming through here. Very fresh, crisp apple kind of a scent. Also a little bit of that lemon lime, which is very interesting. Considerably less peat I'm noticing on the nose here for Victoriana. And a lot more green fruits, a lot more spice. Again, kind of a medium amount of cinnamon, big amount of vanilla here, and this little mist of salt, like the air next to the ocean on a stormy day, or when the waves are crashing and you get a little bit of spray. All right, well, let's check out the palate now for Victoriana. Cheers, everybody. Now, much like the 15-year-old, again, a very sweet forward beginning to the palate. And I'm still tasting apricots. And also a little bit of that sort of a chalky candy feeling, much like I mentioned for the 15, the Popeye candies. But a little bit more vanilla and considerably more cinnamon as well. Still very fruity, and I am noticing the peat on the palate here. My lights are going crazy again. Come on. All right, we'll go with a bit of mood lighting. I think the coolest thing for this is the finish. And it's very drinkable neat. The finish is extremely long, very spicy, and yet very sweet at the same time. Kind of like a spiced baked apple with the marzipan inside, and maybe a little bit of sea salt grains added in there. Then you get that caramelization that happens, so there'll be kind of a salty apple, nutty kind of a flavor. This is what I'm getting here on the finish. Oh, all right. One more taste here. Oh, and you really get some pepperiness. Oh, that's really really lovely. Kind of like Talisker in that sense. Dry and pepper. All right, great. Let's add some water here and see how it does. We're going to go in with, this is a smaller amount, so again, I'm going to add 2 of these, and that's going to be about 2.5 milliliters or so. Okay. And we will stir it about. That should be good. I get some of the grain now. Again, that oatmeal, that cinnamon and brown sugar oatmeal. A very subtle vanilla now. Kind of like a soft vanilla pudding with natural vanilla extract and not the cheap stuff. Let me add just a little bit more. There. Did that actually go in the glass? Yes, it did. And still some lemon lime. And again, very fresh. That sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? It's got a very fresh palate. Palate the nose with water added. Sorry, I'm just having a little bit of fun here. Very sweet and grainy with water added. Definitely not as much fruit as the 15 in this case with water added. Much more grains and that little bit of sea salt and your a little bit of vanilla. Quite a lot of vanilla, in fact. A slightly thick mouthfeel as well with water. Gorgeous. This is also very, very nice. Very long finish. Well, what's the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score going to be for the Glen Scotia Victoriana? Stay tuned and find out. We'll have a short word from the YouTube sponsors here. Welcome back. So, WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Glen Scotia Victoriana, 51.5%. That's going to be 91 out of 100. 91 out of 100 is the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Glen Scotia Victoriana. Now, some of you might be surprised that I took a point away from the 15. Meanwhile, this is a more expensive whiskey. Now, don't forget, I'm an individual and I have my own preferences and you may have your own. These are equal in the manufacture quality. Absolutely equal. The Glen Scotia Victoriana is superior in its not only the casking, but also in the ABV. So there's a lot more pure cask strength whiskey going into this one than that. Now, be that as it may, as I said, I'm an individual, and I'm really, really taken by this 15-year-old. I find the fresh nose a little bit more up my alley. And for me, the fruit forwardness, the peat, and the grains are really lovely, really fantastically balanced here. you're getting a little bit of a narrower band of experience with Victoriana, but it does actually reach further in that one category. So you really do get a lot more vanilla and a lot more cinnamon here with Victoriana. For some people, that might make this just an amazing whiskey. And I dare say that the Victoriana is actually a little bit more drinkable in the sense of the masses. So that's going to be a real a real crowd pleaser. This is one of the pitfalls of living in Korea. You start to confuse R's and L's in the same way that they do. Anyway, so wonderful whiskey, 91 out of 100. And to compare the two, I'm going to go with the Glen Scotia 15. I like that peat content. I like the fruit bomb aspect of it. However, for the cinnamon and vanilla experience and an outstanding finish, Victoriana will not disappoint, and it should be a bottle that you look for your home bar very soon. All right, well, anyway, thanks for watching. If you did not subscribe, make sure you click that right over here, and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of Victoriana. What do you think of Glen Scotia? What do you think of this review? I'd love to hear it from you. Okay, so take care, everyone. Stay tuned for what's next. That's going to be another great review. Goodbye. Thanks for watching Whiskey Whistle. Be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to give this video a like and leave a comment down below. Be sure to stay tuned next time to join me, the host of the show, Mark, as I explore more whiskeys with you. Take care now, and we'll see you next time.